Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here, bringing you a preview of Infinity Runner, which is newly available for the Xbox One and PS4 and has been available for a longer period of time on the PC. In this preview video, I'll be going through a couple of levels, showing you guys some of the gameplay, explaining some of the gameplay mechanics, and then just leaving you with some of the in-game audio for certain parts. Now, in Infinity Runner, it is a runner-style game set in first person. For those who are unfamiliar with runners, they are more popular on the mobile side, but they have been creeping their way into the PC and console markets. In runners, what you do is you start a level, and there are infinite runners, and then there's different types of runners. In this runner, there is a story mode, but there's also an arcade mode, which you can has some different kind of options here. Very quickly, we'll go into the menu that's actually being shown on screen. I'll go back to the point I was making earlier. There are leaderboards. There's one collectible per level for a total of, I want to say, 13 or 14 collectibles. There are also challenges, which are a staple in runner-style games. There's an arcade mode, which is kind of like story mode, but it takes out all the story parts and chains together all of the different areas so you don't have to load or listen to any story. And then there's an actual story mode, which we will be starting now. I have cut a few of the loading screens out in order to make it a little bit faster, but the loading itself is actually very fast, between 5 and 10 seconds for any level, so that's not something you need to worry about. Now, as you'll see on screen, the game kind of starts. This is the very first level. This is the tutorial. It'll start with basically this woman telling you that you're stuck in this kind of chamber of some sort, and that you have to escape the spaceship that you're on. And that's more or less the only context you're given early on in the game. Now, going back to explaining what runners are, you'll see on screen what I mean. But in this game, it's a first-person style. But in typical runners, your character is always running, and then the obstacles are coming at you. So in this game, those obstacles are going to be enemies. Those are going to be laser grids, certain environmental aspects on the level that will kill you, such as, broken parts of the floor that you might fall through, or different types of enemies like spaceships that you might have to jump over or slide under. In this game, you're also going to have to turn on the hallways. If you don't turn the right way, or you just continue running forward, you will smack against the wall and possibly kill yourself. Now, I am playing this first level here on the normal difficulty. I'll switch to a hard difficulty level, and then I'll die. You'll see it's much harder. As you run much faster, you get less lives. And then I'll switch back to a normal difficulty level further on in the game to kind of show you how the game progresses and how the hallways and stuff will change based on where you are. Now, controls-wise, left trigger will make you slide. The right trigger will make you jump. You'll have to look left or right, depending on where you want to turn, with your right analog stick. And then you can make your character go from left to right in the hallway using the left analog stick. So you can either be in the center, on the left, or on the right. And you will need to do that based on depending on the hallway and stuff. There's not that many environmental dangers in the first level. And then there's also data packs which you want to pick up. I'm not sure what their real use is. I think they just give you more points. And if you collect a certain amount of data packs in one life, you will gain an additional life, as far as I understand, but I'm not 100% sure. Again, going back to that point about what exactly a runner is, as you'll see it on screen, and it's kind of easier just to kind of figure it out for yourself based on what's happening on screen than to hear it through a guy on YouTube talking about it. But you're going to basically be going through a level, and you're going to either have to use your character and go left or right, or keep in the center of the hallway in order to pick up certain things and avoid certain obstacles. You'll also be able to slide and jump to avoid obstacles. And then you'll also have to do certain tasks and beat up certain baddies using QTEs, or quick time events, which will show up on your screen as well. So that's going to be the first level. Basically, more or less, not a lot of story has progressed in there. I'm going to leave you guys with the in-game audio for the second level, which I will be playing on the hard difficulty. On hard, what happens is the actual obstacles themselves will change, and they will become harder in certain instances. Additionally, you'll also spawn with only one life instead of 3 or 4, depending on if you're playing on normal or easy. And additionally, on top of that, on the lower difficulties, if you do hit a laser grid, it'll take off a certain part of your life, and then if you hit a second laser grid, you'll die. On hard, everything is a one-hit kill. Regardless of what you touch, you will die instantly, and you are only given 1 life, and then you can respawn and play again. Now, this is the third of 14 levels in the game, and I'll leave you guys with some of the in-game audio. Enjoy.
What the hell happened here? What the hell happened here? Let's not stick around to find out. The energy readings for this sector have just spiked. You seem to be getting close to... Listen to me clearly. I understand you might be a little shocked right now. Just focus and let your instincts kick in. In this form, you are stronger, faster, and more agile. The guards aren't going to stand a chance against you.
So now that we are approaching what would be the end of the hard level, I actually do end up dying, so I end up just switching back to a different level further on in the game. And now I'll talk a little bit about the story, because I won't be spoiling as much since you guys have watched these first 2 levels. But basically, you are on a spaceship, you are trying to escape. There is a AI that's trying to help you escape. And the reason you are so important is because you are a werewolf, or you have the ability to transform into a werewolf. I tried my best to pay attention to the story, to be quite honest, but I was unfortunately a little bit unsuccessful, as I didn't really understand what was going on. As far as I understand, again, you are on a spaceship with werewolves, but you are also a werewolf, or have the ability to become a werewolf, and that's the reason you're so important, and something like that. The game does kind of end on a little bit of a cliffhanger, insinuating that there might be a Infinity Runner 2, or the story is to be continued, which isn't a huge spoiler. Again, that's not anything specific, just very, very broad. As you'll see, the different levels have different layouts and different looking schemes. This is one of the later levels. It is quite well lit, but again, some of the other levels are going to look completely different. Overall, my opinions of this game, for those that are wondering, this game is probably not for me. I don't think it's aimed at someone like me, but those who do like runners will really like this. Those who enjoy simpler games and really do enjoy mobile gaming will enjoy playing this on their console. There's not a whole lot of depth here, and there's not a really much of a story, in my opinion, that is worth experiencing. As a runner, it does function and it does accomplish its goal of becoming a runner first-person style, and the running aspects are actually quite good. Although the game does become a little bit frustrating in the later levels, and instead of actually becoming a game of reaction and quick events, it becomes a little bit more of a game of memorization, which is unfortunate because that's not something that's usually in a style of game like this. So that's a personal gripe of mine. I didn't enjoy the fact that I felt like the game became more about memorization and less about quick reaction times. The story is not that great. The music is okay. This is kind of what you would expect from a very small studio indie game. It is a very simple game and it functions, but that style of gameplay is not going to be for everyone. I'm not going to be reviewing it, but for those that are curious on true achievements, I did rate this game a 2 out of 5 or a 4 out of 10. It's not for me, and but some people might really enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll leave you guys with some in-game audio. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and hopefully I see you next time. Peace.
Since his first sighting, I've been digging up information on him. It appears at one stage he was just like you, a normal human male with the ability to transform into a werewolf. However, he was obsessed with the power that this ability brought him. This lust for power led him to voluntarily joining the research program as their very first test subject. He was imprisoned in one of the cryo chambers just like you, deep within the bowels of the ship. It seems that I've inadvertently released him and caused a violent psychopath to be loose on the ship, hunting down anyone who might be able to challenge him. Sorry.